And welcome back to the Sport Podcast. I remain your host, Afolabi Israel, and welcome back. It's been an eventful week of sports. Yes, so many leagues are resuming this weekend, and we are so happy. We are really so happy that football is back. Football is back. It didn't go for so long, but we are just happy that there's a new season of sports. And from the soundtrack, we are going straight to the EPL. And we just know so many things have been happening during this transfer period. And the teams are getting warmed up and players are getting signed. We are not going to discuss about Chelsea today. We all know what's happening in Chelsea. But we are going to be discussing about teams like Manchester United and Arsenal this morning. So, Manchester United signed they had a new signing, and for me personally, I think it was not needed. Mr. Debo, what do you think about this?
Personally, I would say Man U signing is not. We can't say it's not needed. I think it's good for the depth, and I'm also happy that at least there's now a little bit of cover for both Bruno and Pogba in case anything happens. We saw what happened last season when Pogba was not playing. You know, we had some difficulty breaking down teams when Bruno was not also, when we didn't have Bruno at all. We could see the old problems there. But now that there's a bit of quality coming on, I would believe he's going to, start up from the bench. He's not going to be a starter straight away. So that's a good thing for Manchester United fans to be excited about. But I think there are still other positions that are, top priority that should be addressed ASAP. But we all know how Man U always drag their transfers until God knows when, and then they'll probably do it at the last minute, and hopefully that will not be too late for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plan for the new season, because I think everybody would want to get that 3 points and up and running, so that you can just set that pace for yourself. It's going to be an interesting season from everybody, because I think most teams have really strengthened themselves, except maybe for Liverpool, and which is, but they are still the title. The title were holders at the moment, so that's something that you cannot just put on the side that because they've not strengthened, they will not challenge. I think they are still going to challenge also, but Man U are just a couple of players away from actually challenging for that title. I know we have been saying this for God knows when, and it's becoming almost boring now. But then the news out there is still remaining the same, that they are still in the market to get some other quality players, and hopefully they get them in and they can actually challenge for the EPL.
Personally, I feel Man U needs 3 players, and I'll just mention the position in which they need these players. Number 1, they need a striker. That's 1. Number 2, they need a DM. Number 3, they need a left back, and that's all, and no more. So signing another creative midfielder was just not needed, because they had Fred. They had a couple of other players that could play that position. They had a couple of players that could play that position. I don't see why they needed. I don't see why they needed him. But it's fine. Yeah, you.
It's very strange. It's very strange that you call Fred and mention the likes of that kind of player when you, as a Madrid fan, the kind of quality that come on from the bench to make an impact, and you calling on Fred and all those players are really funny. But I think that's what we always get now. You choose the right things for your team, and then the other team can do whatever they want to do, but that's fine. I think the Man U fans and owners would know that they need better quality, at least right winger, left back, and maybe a bonus of a center back. That's a bonus. But at least for those two positions that I just mentioned, they are really critical positions, and they need to get that sorted out on ASAP. And the season is in fact has started. It's going to start today, and I'm really excited that football is definitely back now. The La Liga is also going to start. EPL is going to start, and I think EPL is going to be another crazy season. And I believe Liverpool might not win the league. I don't know if Okpe agrees with me on this.
I also believe so. I also believe so. Let's not talk about Liverpool. Let's talk about us now. Let's talk about
Okay.
the rumor that has been flying around is Draxler and the other guy from Lyon, and I really want Draxler to be an Arsenal fan, an Arsenal player. Sorry, and I really want Draxler to be an Arsenal player because it's been a long time coming, and Arsenal have been on the pursuit of Draxler for quite a while now, and I feel Draxler will do well in Arsenal than where he is right now. And Arsenal need experienced players in their attack, not the likes of Nketiah, Willock, and Saka and all those things. They need experienced players. And personally, I think that's why they brought in Willian. For that experience in their attack, they need people that can win games for them, not people that are still like that they are still building. They need people that can go into games and score goals and not be scared to win games for them. They need people that can win games for them, and that's why I really want Draxler to be an Arsenal player at this point in time. What do you think, Mr. Okwe?
Personally, I'm not sure about Draxler right now. This is not 2013 or 2014 when we were trying to get Draxler so bad. If you look at his career through the years, whether it's injury, whether it's the squad he has been in, Draxler has not played more than 25 league games in any season for any club. I'm not sure that's the caliber of player we need right now at Arsenal. Of course, Draxler is a wonderful player. But then, if I were to pick between him and the other targets that we are looking at, I'll definitely pick the other targets. Usamoah was very phenomenal last season. We saw what he did with Lyon. We saw how he played even in the games against Manchester City, especially. And of course, the other player we are linked to is Thomas Partey. We've lacked a physical, strong, defensive midfielder for years. So getting those two guys in the team, I think, will be more important than Draxler. And the squad is rebuilding. We still have a couple of players we are trying to sell. And with proper planning, if we can get some good money for some players, we should be able to get those two guys. Although the transfer window is just about 3 weeks left. So we strongly hope that we can pull off those two deals, and then we can now start talking about competing for the top 4. And like Debo said, the league is going to be very, very intriguing this season. You never can tell what is going to happen.
It's going to be very competitive.
There are so many strong teams in there, aside the traditional top 6. But of course, I still feel it's going to be another race between Manchester City and Liverpool. Of course, if Chelsea can click with their new set of wonderful players, then they might also be in the mix for the title.
I always root for the underdogs. So my underdog pick this season will be 2 teams. It will be Wolves and Tottenham. Watch out for those teams. Just watch out.
Wolves and Tottenham for what?
Just watch out for those teams.
Where?
I'll be more inclined to assess the regular top 6, and of course my team. I'll be very excited to watch Everton play this season as well.
Yeah. Mr. Debo, your
Well,
underdog team.
I think Wolves are also going to be strong because they are not going to be playing the Europa League. And I think that's a distraction to a team like Wolves, who does not really have too many players in their squad. But having to play week in, week out, only the EPL is quite an interesting thing for them, because they get to be fresh every time, and we all know how they play when they are fresh. And I think another team we should not sleep on really is Everton. I think they have done some fantastic deals this summer. I think their midfield is fast. I think it's right up there
Revamped.
with some with some top teams in EPL at the moment. Those players they have there are really, really strong, which complements the attack they had already, tried to build before now. I think they are just missing probably that one striker who is going to, deliver them 25 goals a season or 20 goals like Lukaku used to do for them. But if their belief is to, go with Calvin Lewin, I think it's not also too bad for them, not too bad for them, but then they have like a really, really strong midfield, and that midfield is just really strong. And I think we should watch out for them too, because they are not going to be competing in any European competition. So week in, week out, they are fresh and they're ready to go against any team in the EPL, which is interesting in my opinion. Is interested in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, really,
Let,
really.
let's not let's not also forget that Marcelo Bielsa is back in the EPL with his
Oh,
Leeds
Yeah.
United team.
I think he is overrated.
That's another thing to watch out for. Leeds.
I think
Let's
he's overrated.
let's see if he's really overrated. Let's just see if he's really overrated.
I think that they are in an honeymoon phase where Leeds City's aim was to get back to the EPL, and which he has achieved. Yes, he's a good coach, but then we have so many good coaches in the EPL also. Not like one coach there is bad. So for a coach to be in the EPL, yeah, definitely something is there. That's why you're a coach. But for the way people are saying it, that Beasley is back, as if he's bringing it leads back to so maybe a European spot. It's not
Sheffield
impossible.
almost did it last season.
It's not, which is why I said it's not impossible. But then I don't think we
Highly
should.
unlikely.
We should we should hype that much, because the EPL teams are not really like sleeping, and I think it's really difficult to even break in the top 10, top 8 for Leeds City. Talk less of even the top 10. So I think survival will still be their aim. Let's not relegate next season, and then we'll pick it up from there. That should be the aim for this season.
Yeah. Okay. Quite interesting. I really don't want us to go into I really don't want us to talk about La Liga today, because nothing really is happening in La Liga. I mean, maybe if Messi leaves, then we'll know that okay, something is happening in La Liga. But the season is starting this weekend, so we'll
Well, if Messi leaves, I think that would definitely be the talk of everywhere. But that's not happening. And we've heard rumors that the guy was practically bullied into not signing. Do you guys think his love for Barcelona might have reduced a little bit during this whole saga period? Or do you think he's still going to, remain the Messi that we all know for Barcelona? I don't know if Okwe agrees with me on this one.
I don't think so. I feel Messi is an absolute professional. He knows what he needs to do for that team. He knows that the efforts the team and the La Liga itself put into him staying, he has to repay the Barcelona fans with good performances. It might have been interesting to see him leave, and of course get a new challenge somewhere else, maybe Man City, maybe PSG. but then he's in Barcelona. He's a Barcelona player. He has told the board, he has told those who care to hear what Barcelona needs to do to make him happy. So I feel Barcelona should just get strong players around him. I feel he will still deliver his best. Although I would keep saying something that people should not look at Messi of 5 years ago and compare with the Messi of now. Of course, he'll still do numbers. He did 20 plus goals and assists last season. He will still do those numbers for them this season, but he's a player that has peaked, and he's just enjoying the latter stage of his career. But I feel he will still give it 100% to Barcelona.
Oh, okay. Talking about
talking about people that are in giving their best. We've still not heard anything about Gary Bale. I think he's still in the golf course, probably taking his professional career now. And I don't think we can all blame him. I think it's a bittersweet story for Bale. At the moment, I think unfortunately for him, Zidane just does not just rate him the same way he didn't rate him. James Rodriguez, who we all think is an absolutely good player, a confirmed baller, but then he was not just rated by those guys. But now, what next for Gary Bale? Because who is going to pay him that huge sum that he receives every week? I don't know. I don't think any club who are trying to move in the right direction are probably going to want to sign Gary Bale at this moment. I doubt it.
I think Madrid wants to pay out his remaining salary and just sell him off like that. I even if Gary Bale goes to a new club, I don't think he's still the same player that he once was anymore, because he has I don't want to say he has lost it, but I just think he has just fallen off. He has just fallen off as a player in recent years. And no, I don't think I'll blame Zinedine for that. I'll just blame him for his own fall off, because I'll blame Bale for his own fall off, because Bale was supposed to do numbers after Ronaldo left, and he kept on being a flop from time to time. He never stepped up at any point in time. Imagine him dropping 9 goals in a calendar season, 9 goals in the league, 9 goals, and this was someone that was supposed to replace Ronaldo. This was someone that's supposed to step into Ronaldo's shoes. Now I can't blame him for putting him on the bench, because I can't blame his name for putting him on the bench, because he's literally not doing anything. And if you start Bale in a match, Bale would struggle to make a cross. That's not to even talk about a dribble. He will struggle to even make a cross. He will struggle to even complete a cross. So
why are you talking like this, Israel? Why Bale is not this bad? The way you're painting this guy.
I'm telling you that Bale has fallen off the wagon. Bale has fallen off the wagon. I'm telling you that. I won't say the same.
So you're saying Bale cannot cross, Bale cannot dribble. Come on now. I just feel the coach does not have him in his plans. Let him move on to somewhere else, and I'm sure he can pick some of his own
rooting
form
for him to move somewhere else. Let me see him somewhere else.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to move on, and then we can still try to enjoy him. I think he still have like a little left to offer, but then the problem is that wage. The wage is quite high, and not too many teams are going to want to pay that amount for a 31, 32 years old player who is injury prone also. That's really, really another major problem. So I don't know. It's a dicey one. It's a dicey one. It's going to be interesting to see what pans out from what from that one, and I'm sure we'll keep everyone updated on that one also moving forward. But as Israel said it initially, the La Liga is back. The EPL is back, and we are all ready to go. I think we should predict our top four on the show for today. So I'm going first. My top four for EPL this season would be Liverpool, Man City. As much as I hate to say Chelsea, you cannot just not put Chelsea's name there because they have done some some fantastic deals. And Chelsea, and I think is going to be the fourth is now going to be between Man U, Arsenal, and Tottenham. I think they would challenge for the top four position. But those top three guys, I think they are guaranteed. But the number four position are going to be amongst those three guys. Only if Man U probably, do their madness and probably sign 2-3 players before the season closes. Then I can then put them in that category of, oh, yes, definitely they'll make the top four. For the La Liga, I think it will remain the same story of Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico, and probably Sevilla or Valencia breaking into it. But I don't see Valencia doing that. That's
Valencia.
I do.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
calm down. Well, I don't see. I genuinely do not see Valencia doing that because I think they have done some really, really weird. I'll call it weird business this summer. Really weird because they sold their captain, who I believe is a quality player, a quality addition to any team in world football, and they sold him for barely 10 million euros to Villarreal, who I think they have the same ambition, which was very strange. They sold their promising winger also, even though he wanted to leave also in person of Ferran, and it has just been a lot of shambles in Valencia at the moment.
They sold their to their rival Villarreal. They sold their striker to Leeds City, and I'm wondering what is their ambition this season. People will get Cerebro back to talk about the ambition of Valencia.
Yeah, probably we'll probably get him back on the show so he could shed more light on what is happening.
They're on a downward slope right now. Like even Francis Coquelin was sold to Villarreal as well. So a couple of other players have moved. I really don't know their plan for next season.
Yeah,
I really do not know.
Well, I think Mokwe, you can go on your predictions for the season.
For the season, I'm going to go with a Man City win. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Then that fourth spot right now is looking like it belongs to Man U, but then the transfer window is still open. So until the end of the transfer window before I say who's going to finish in the fourth spot.
All right. So mine is Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham.
I don't know. I think you have a relationship with Mourinho, but then that's fine. Just for you Tottenham fans out there, Tottenham have only signed the Denmark midfield Højbjerg from Southampton, and
no, they brought in Doherty too from Wolves.
Yeah,
they brought in Joe Hart from wherever. So.
We all know he's probably going to play in the Carling Cup or something. That's not Igor Lloris is still probably going to be the number one. And Mourinho is also still looking at a striker who is going to be like a backup for Harry Kane. We don't know who that striker is, but definitely would also break that once we have a confirmed story.
There are rumors linking them to Milik, but I'm not sure Milik is going to move this summer. Probably in January or probably to another club. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think over to you, Israel, to move us directly straight onto the NBA scene so we can, dissect what happened over the week.
All right. It's been a bubbling playoff season in the NBA. It's been a bubbling playoff season. And tons of game sevens, and I think we literally didn't see, even though we expected something like this, but we didn't see this amount of game sevens happening this season in the playoff. What do you guys think? I mean, in the instant conference, we have the Miami Heat and Celtics. They are going to go head to head for a game for a 7-game series in the instant conference final, and the Western Conference final is like far from. It's a little bit away from the finals. So we are looking at teams like Lakers and LA Clippers getting to the final. We all predicted at the beginning of the season that it's going to be a LA final. But the bone of contention here is Miami Heat, Boston Celtics. Who do you think is going to make the NBA finals?
I think Okpa should predict first. I'm trying to put on this.
For me, I feel the Miami Heat. I want the Miami Heat to be in the finals.
Thank you.
For what they've done this season, they've been amazing, and you know they are top guys. Butler, Dragic, all those guys, they really brought their A game to the playoffs. So I would really like to see them in the final for me.
Well, I think, to be very honest, I think Miami Heat are really, in fact, I am shocked. I cannot lie. I didn't see them in the finals one bit come start of the season. I know Israel is going to be there saying, I told you so in his head again, but that's fine. I do not care about it. I told you so. But then I think at the moment, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think so. But I think Miami Heat might nick it just because of that, that experience that they have and that mentality that are in that squad. I think there are some wicked ballers in Miami Heat who people don't even know about. Like, they don't even talk about them that much. The likes of Tyler Hero, this guy is a dead sniper. He snipes anything from anywhere. He does not give like two fucks about anything. He's shooting it. And most of it is making. So I think that's something. It's a matchup that is really, really going to be great. But I really tip Miami is doing this one because the Celtics, we saw how they won the 2 games against Raptors and then allowed Raptors to even come back 2-2 with a Raptors team who Siakam really, really did not show up, for, and still took them to Game 7. So, but which is really, really strange for me. I think Miami Heat in this one would probably nick it, and I know Israel will want to say, "I told you so" again. I don't know. Please prove me wrong about this, Israel.
I told you so. All right. So I personally, I feel it's going to be more about the defense. It's going to be more about defense than attacking. And we all know the Miami Heat team are good on defense. They like I said the other time, they guard the paint very well. They reduce the amount of points they concede in the paint and force you to the 3-point line to shoot, which is quite dicey. And I personally think it's Miami Heat's depth that is going to count for them, and the addition of experienced players like Iguodala and Jay Crowder that are going to count for them in the stretch of this series, and not excluding the experience of Jimmy Butler, and if Jimmy Butler gets to win this series, is going to be his first NBA final. And I really want that for him because he's an hardworking player. He's an hardworking player.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yes, and I really want that for him. He has really shown his working. So and not excluding the contributions of young players like Duncan Robinson. That guy can shoot out of the park. Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn, that was a starter now, is leading the second unit, and Dragic is now in the first unit starting games, and Kendrick Nunn is fighting for his spot in the starting unit and is leading the second unit, and is not sparing anybody at this point in time. And I think Kevin Olynyk, Bam, and the rest of these guys are really are really out for something. And I think the fact that they wrote them off, they didn't raise them at the beginning of the season, it's like a driving force for them right now to crown the season with the NBA title. So yeah, I'm talking about the Boston Celtics. I don't want to be biased, even though I'm a Miami fan. I don't want to be biased. The Boston Celtics also have the likes of I won't call them young core anymore. The likes of Jalen Brown, Tatum, Tice, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, and all the other guys. I feel Kemba. I know how skillful Kemba is, but at the same time, he can, because of his height, he can be easy to guard. And the Miami Heat I feel the Miami Heat would do a good job in defending, in guarding Kemba Walker, but they'll find it hard to guard players like Marcus Smart, Jalen Brown, and Tatum. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting series, and I see Miami Heat coming out of this one in the it's going to be a game 6 decider. So this series is going to be decided in 6 games.
That's a strong prediction there, on that one. But I think we'll just wait and see what partners in the East. But talking about the West, I think that the matchup against Lakers versus Rockets are probably going to be done and dusted this weekend. Lakers are currently 3-1.
I really want that.
You know? They are 3-1 up already, and we saw Clippers.
And wait, and I can say I told you so again, because at the beginning of the season I told you playoff Rondo is a real thing, and now can you say Rondo falling?
Rondo was shit during the normal regular season. No one can say anything different. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. Yes, he's a playoff maestro, and then it's good, it's all that, it's all this. But then you cannot take it away that he was not bad during the regular season. We all know what he's going to do in the playoff, but the regular season also matters for the likes of LeBron to have their own rest, because when he's off the court, we all know that Lakers are always, struggling to close out games. So that's the problem. So he was not getting enough rest. He was being overused. He was being overplayed. And Rondo should have been the second guy to, facilitate that offense in the absence of LeBron. But he didn't do that at all during the regular season. So I think we're not going to take that away. It was really bad during the regular season.
It's something they call playoff Rondo. And that is what is happening right now. It's all about championship. It's not about the regular season. That's what I feel.
Well, you have to make the regular the championship first, the playoffs first before thinking about winning the title. At least make the playoff. If you don't win your regular season games, how do you then make the playoff? No way. So
regardless, the Lakers were going to make the playoffs. So moving on to Formula One. A lot of things happened during the Formula One this past week. Mr. Okwe, can you give us a quick update on that?
Well, the Italian Grand Prix went down last weekend, and it was an interesting finish. Pierre Gasly, a French racer for AlphaTauri, won his first Formula One race, and it was really a big shock last weekend, as many expected the usual suspects, Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, and the likes, to come through on that one, but it was the Frenchman that came through with the victory. That was the first time a French racer was winning the Formula One Grand Prix since 1996. So it's a good one for the young man. Hopefully he can kick on from there, and with time probably get into one of the big racers and maybe do better for his career. And Sebastian Vettel also secured a move to Racing Point. They'll be known as Aston Martin from next season. So that's a good one for Vettel. He said he had contemplated retiring before that deal came through. So it's good we are going to still see Sebastian Vettel in the Formula One next season. So that's about that from Formula One.
Sorry, for continue. I'm actually surprised that Racing are thinking about a Vettel that we have seen week in, week out, or competition in, competition out, that I think he has passed it. And it seemed like Racing, who, the guy they are losing for getting Sebastian Vettel is a promising young guy. I think it's for this guy who won the French, the Italian Grand Prix last weekend. I think he's going to be another young guy who is going to probably be on the block. You don't just win a Grand Prix without having to do something about it, especially with the kind of car he would have used to race against these guys. I think it would have been a better option trying to secure a deal for that kind of player instead of, going all out to spend, because I am certain the salary wage is going to probably be very high, but based on he's an experienced guy, he's also a Formula One legend.
Legend, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really funny that they went all out for Sebastian Vettel, but let's see how that deal will run out, and hopefully somehow Vettel is going to get his mojo back and is going to make a statement. I've been saying it that he has to make a statement. He has to make a statement. I am still here. I am not dusted. But unfortunately, it has been disappointing, and hopefully he's going to find his mojo in this new guy with these new guys.
All right. So I think we've come to the closing part of this podcast, guys.
We need to touch on US Open really quick.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
US Open, we have finals. The finals are set for both the WTA and the ATPs. For the WTA, it's going to be between Victoria Azarenka and Naomi Osaka. Azarenka fought back to beat Serena Williams 2-1 in a semi-final clash, while Osaka defeated Jennifer Brady to make it to the final.
Please, quick question.
For the men's, which quick
one there. For the women, can we say Serena is still going to win a major, tennis competition? Can she still win it?
Definitely. She's in and around. She made the semi-finals in this one. She was I wouldn't know how to describe it. She had a wonderful performance in that game against Azarenka. She won the first set 6-1, but it just didn't happen for her. But I feel she still has it in her to get another Grand Slam. Definitely.
I think we've been saying this for the last 3. Don't let me too exaggerate it. Maybe let me say 1 to 2 years now.
3 years. Our last major Grand Slam win was in 2017.
Exactly. So we've been saying, Serena is probably going to be back. She's going to be back. She's going to be back. This is 3 years going now. She's still going to be back. 3 years is almost going to end, going to the 4th year, and she's not getting any younger. She's getting older. Can she meet
the only
this record?
I have to say to you guys is, remember the story of Tiger Woods, and that's all.
Well, I think this is a different story. But then I feel Serena would nick that 24th Grand Slam, definitely.
Well, I hope so. I root for her I think she's the greatest tennis player, in my own opinion. I think she has really been dominant of the game for the last, how many years now. And for her to reach that that record is going to be the icing of her career, of her glittering career. So I genuinely hope that she gets that last one, and we can all be excited about that. Over back about the news.
Well, for the ATPs, it's really an interesting final out that I would really love to watch. It's Dominic Thiem. I'm very sure we've seen how consistent Thiem has been in the recent seasons. He's going to be taking on one of my favorite tennis players right now, Alexander Zverev, making his first Grand Slam final. Zverev had to fight back from 2 sets down to defeat Pablo Carreno Busta in the semi-final clash. He was down by 2 sets and had to make that comeback. It was quite an interesting one for him, making his first Grand Slam. And it'll be interesting to see how he does against Thiem. Although I still think Thiem might just nick that victory. But let's see how it goes in the men's final. The women's final will be going down today, and the men's will be going down tomorrow. So we'll be seeing Thiem take on Zverev tomorrow, and Osaka will be taking on Victoria Azarenka later today.
Well, for me, are we going to say we are starting to see a new age of tennis players now? I think now we have, at least for the female one, we are consistently talking about Naomi Osaka, Coco Gauff. These are girls coming up, through the ranks now and try to stamp their own claim. But for the men's category, I think we still talk about the likes of Roger Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, who I believe would have been in the final if not for
of course, if not for the disqualification, yes,
for that disqualification. So for about I think I've been consistently hearing about Thiem now.
Yes. Well, there are a couple of young guys. There are a couple of young guys that are doing well. It's just that they seem to lack that consistency. One very good example is Alexander Zverev. Zverev had so much potential when he started, but then he's just trying to fight back to get into that top form to make finals of Grand Slams like this one. Then of course there's Danny Medvedev. There's Alexander Rublev, there's Denis Shapovalov, so many of these guys, Tiafoe. These guys are young guys, but they are not. I still feel the old guard, the Nadal, the Federer, they are still on top of them. So they will really need to step up their games.
The men's category of tennis have new players, and we need to see the next generation of male tennis guys. We need to see the future, and we need to know that if when the likes of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic retires, tennis is safe.
The problem is, I think the problem is there are actually so many of them. I've not mentioned Berrettini. There are a couple of them. There's this Felix Aga Alassim as well. There's so many of the young guys. It's just their level of consistency that is lacking. So I feel if the 3 main guys leave the scene, I'm not sure we are going to have, like maybe 1 or 2 consistent players. It will probably be like the female end where you just see different players winning the Grand Slams at different points in time. But we'll see how that goes anyways.
Well, my own fear is that I don't want these guys to turn out like a certain Kevin Anderson, who I have been hearing for the last 15 years to be doing it from South Africa, but has not just broken into that limelight where I would expect that it should be. The likes of the French guy also, Tonsag, that's another guy that I thought would have had a glittering career, but then somehow, somewhere, he just missed that one. So that's my fear about the male category, where guys are just peeping out, and the consistency is just really, really not anything to be written home at all. But well, let's see how that goes, and it will be an interesting final tomorrow and also today. Yeah, I think so.
All right, and I can say that it's from us here. Guys, any last thing you want to say before we end this session?
Well, for me, Fantasy Premier League is back, and we have as a crew, we have our own fantasy, you know, competition also going out there. But and we can you guys can also join the fantasy league. The code I'm going to be reading out now is what's the code again? What's the code? NESOPI.
OPI.
NESOPI. So you can set your fantasy and join the league and
The
win
league,
yourself, some fantastic prizes. We'll keep that anonymous, but the fantastic prizes are definitely going to be there. You don't have to pay for anything. All you need to do is join the league, NESOPI, and you will be contacted if you are the lucky winner. Yeah,
the
that's the
link
last one for
also
me.
is going to be in our bio. So if you want to join, just go to our page on Twitter and just click on it. And software.
Yeah, from me, league is starting up. It's Arsenal. I just hope we will not be banter material for the opening game of the season.
The funniest thing is Arsenal are going to be playing the first game, which is going to be a London derby, and that will be an interesting matchup against Fulham, who are going to be coming in to make a statement that, see, we are amongst the big boys now.
Which big boys? Which big boys? They should just calm down. Let me take my 3 points and be going. Don't have time.
You say, let me take your 3 points. Are they owing you 3 points?
Don't have time. Let me just take it.
All right, guys. All right, guys.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.